There's a new Five Finger Death Punch album, a new song from Greg Puciato, and if you like to headbang, science says you also like to bang in a car. Beep beep, it's Last Words in the Pit. Play the theme song!
Woo!
All right, here we go. It's Last Words here in the Pit. I'm your host, Jordan Olson. I'm here with Katy and Zeena.
What up?
What's
How
up,
you
everybody? Doing good? All right, let's get into it. There's a new Trivium song. It's called Catastrophist. Are you Trivium people?
They put out like one or two decent albums and then like never changed the format. Did you watch it? First of all, the video, okay? It looks like kind of a D-rate horror film, to be honest.
Oh, I checked out. I was like, no.
But then
playing guitar on the couch is when you have depression. I know, because I do it.
But then the band came in, and I don't really understand what the video is about. Like, I appreciate the attention to try, but honestly, it felt tired. Like, the guys are great players, right? Like, they rip.
They're a band that is like, it's not for me. I respect it, because they shred. What are you gonna do? They kick ass at all the instruments.
I definitely agree that there is definitely stagnancy in a lot of those bands that came from that era. But I think now, at least in the past like decade, we've seen all these like D-Gent or Gent, however you say it. Again, you know, I can't pronounce things. We've seen all these bands evolve, and I think they really came from the school of nu metal.
I feel like Trivium still is Trivium, and like a Lamb of God or whatever still makes more money than like, or sells more tickets than like a Gent band. But at the same time, like neither are at the height of like what they could be doing.
Because they lack melody.
Music.
They lack melody and like consistency and like in formula of a pop song, right? Like it's very consistent that people will listen to a song that's catchy where you can actually adhere to something. Like when you're lacking a melody and a structure, it's hard for a mass of people to actually listen to that song. Whatever that may be, right? It could have different like rhythms or syncopations that make it melodic or make it just kind of stick with you and you can actually sing it or you groove with it. I just think that that's something that's missing, right? Like, again, sweeping solos and all this cool stuff, but like, you're not getting something where you're like going in the shower and singing it, right? Like, I mean, an Iron Maiden song. You can go in the shower and sing an Iron Maiden song.
I can't sing it well, but yes,
exactly.
I see what you're saying.
There's a new Greg Puciato song. Greg Puciato was the singer of Dillinger Escape Plan. He also has like a industrial project called The Black Queen. He's in a super group called Kill or Be Killed. The Dillinger Boys, they can't stop doing stuff. They gotta keep making new things.
I think Liam now too I just read that he's in Devin Townsend project.
Yeah,
yeah,
Jesus.
they're all doing real well. Yeah.
What did you think of this song?
Greg is mad talented.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the homie. Definitely got blackout drunk with him in LA at a nothing show, so that was fun. But he's just a rager, right? Like he's a really interesting person because not only is he like got this really great rich voice, but he also just has this like really brutal scream that I feel like is very leaning to like the industrial sound that this track actually has.
I think it sounds like literally every single project he's working on.
Yes.
At once.
Do you remember the Irony is a Dead Scene EP from Mike Patton and
Of course.
Dillinger? Yeah.
Yes.
For some reason that just came over my mind. But it reminds me actually, the track
Really?
reminds me of kind of a cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like musically it does, but there's no just like Mike Patton business.
I love that.
I love that too, for sure. Keep doing that. I love a song that sounds like a guy blowing his nose for 4 minutes. It's awesome.
Schizo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a new Toxic Holocaust video. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Cool.
I did. I dig that band a lot. I really just love that crossover, like thrash kind of stuff. I will say I wasn't super impressed by the video.
Oh my God.
So just to begin, I mean, I like the music. I like the song. It's good. But number one, I'm just never really a fan of a performance music video. And even then they added some cool effects to it. Like they did this very like 80s, like kind of
VHS,
retro
yeah.
VHS kind of thing, which was cool, but just not cool enough. But to me, it was just like, you did good if you didn't have much of a budget.
I mean, yeah,
but the song
there probably
rips.
wasn't
The song
much.
rips. Yeah. Also, I felt like watching that video made me feel like, is Joel Grine the only member of this band? Where's everyone?
Yeah, he is.
Right? Is he really?
It's just him.
Okay, well.
It's a solo project. He like,
They're
at least
for
he
hire.
used to be.
They're for
yeah,
hire,
I think
yeah.
he like hires
Okay, well, then
musicians.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't
think
really
it's
sure
Joel
of
by
any of that.
himself writes it.
Okay.
Controversial. I actually like the video because it reminds me.
right,
It's like
yeah.
it's like an acid trip down Hollywood Boulevard. That's what it reminded me
I
of.
feel that.
Like
All right,
the
yeah.
80s, like crappy Hollywood metal kind of like
Yeah.
vibes. I don't know. I thought it was kind of bad but good at the same time. Like,
Fair.
Well, yeah, what are you gonna do? No one
Yeah.
has. It's either for a music video budget these days. You either have like my friends, can you help, or you're Beyonce making a movie. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I've seen a lot of bands like who I'm sure they're not necessarily touring bands or they're not bands that you think would sell a lot of albums. So assuming that they don't have much of a budget, put together really fantastic music videos. So I don't even want to make it like a budget thing because who knows. But again, to me, it just felt very, very low rent. I don't know. That's what
Yeah.
Was it
I mean.
ironic?
That's what
Yeah.
I mean.
Was
I
it-
don't mean, you know.
Was it
I-
supposed to be like that? Like, was
Yeah,
it supposed to
it
be
was.
ironic? Yeah. It felt like that.
Yeah.
It felt like it was supposed to be. But like, I guess you don't know, right? Like, was that their vision? Were they thinking, yeah, man, this is really cool, dude? Like, you never know.
I think here's what probably happened is like Joel's on a label and they were like, we want to do like a video for one song. He's like, ugh, put a filter on it. I don't know. That's usually what happens.
That's what
with
it feels
smaller
like.
bands.
Yeah.
Like they're like that's why everybody's putting out like a lyric video because it's just a way to get the song onto YouTube in some way. Like music videos are dead. It sucks. They're dead.
I don't want to say that because look, I mean.
No.
I don't mean to
Yeah.
bring everything back to Till Lindemann, but I mean, is there anyone else I want to talk about? But like Till Lindemann, Rammstein, granted,
He's
not a lot of
funding
bands
his
have
own
those kind
video.
of budgets, right? But those
What he can
videos
do
are
live is
amazing.
crazy.
I know, and
He
again,
makes
but
a Transformers movie and he f***s it on stage. It's crazy.
It's true.
I would
Yeah.
actually argue that that's not true because I think that because of YouTube, music videos are even more important now.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about is true in terms of like lyric videos or just visualizers because actually YouTube is a music streaming service
Right.
and has its own music platform. So what I think that a lot of consumers aren't conscious of is that if you have every song on Spotify and every song on Apple Music, SoundCloud, whatever the other streaming platforms are, YouTube is parallel to that. So you need to have some kind of manifestation of that. And to make a video, you either need to do a lyric video, some crappy visualizer,
Right.
some,
Just like a static
some
track,
filtered
yeah.
Hollywood Boulevard cocaine offering like we just watched. But like, I think like it's tough because right, if you have 14 tracks and you do a video for each, that's really freaking expensive, right? Like,
Yeah.
so you can only really have one or two budget-wise, and I think this is the unsexy stuff that nobody talks about, right? When you're just a music, like you're listening to music, consuming, you're like, why is that video so crappy? Why doesn't this make sense? And then you're like, oh yeah, you're working on the marketing end, and you get the budget, and you're like, gotta make it work. We'll
Exactly.
figure it out.
Right.
You know?
But that's what I'm saying is like I get the reason why it's needed to be there, but it's not a competitive market like it once was. Like when you were trying to get on like an MTV, like we gotta make something sick so it gets on, like so it gets played a lot and the song is good. Like there was like a reason to have like Drive, and there's a reason for like labels when they had money to give people money to make something, but nowadays it's just like I don't know. We need something on YouTube. We need to have a video. It's the state of the music industry in general.
They should just be making softcore porns. I mean,
Yes, I mean,
already
hello,
know
Till
this, like-
Lindemann, Marilyn Manson. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Two
Yeah,
for
but
one.
they have,
two for one.
Yeah.
they're the people that get the money. Like a Toxic Holocaust is not getting.
You're right.
Yeah, they're not. They don't. He doesn't get to make a sex movie in a laundromat.
Yeah, has he tried? Has he tried?
Speaking of lyric videos, Acacia Strain has a new song with the singer of Jesus Piece. It's called "Feed a Pigeon, Breed a Rat."
Sick lyric video.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
It
actually.
was
think
a
that we're-
visualize actually.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it's called?
That's the
It's a visual-
industry term. It's
It was a
visualizer.
screensaver.
It was.
Yeah.
Windows 95.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Ba-dum, ba-dum.
What you think? What you think?
I mean, it sounds like a deathcore track. I think Acacia Strain are very intense.
That's a way to put it.
It's what it is. It's just the
Pummeling.
sound of intensity the whole time.
Yeah.
Like they sound like bricks falling into
Steamroller.
Yeah, a steamroller.
Steamroller, yeah.
And here's the thing. I had no idea there was a guest vocalist on this album because they sound the same. I get that they probably like each other and are friends, but you got a dude who screams exactly like the main dude. In the description of the thing, it was like, yeah, I was really stoked. Like Aaron killed his part. I was like, which was his part? Everything was
That was my friend. Yo, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. Like, first of all, I like Jesus Piece.
Yeah.
It just sounds like, as they described, pummeling.
It sounds like a pipe hitting another pipe. That's the guitar sound.
The instrumentation was kind of dope. Like, it did sound very apocalyptic. Another buzzword. But I don't know. Like, again, like, these songs are all sounding the same, right? Like, I wish there was some distinguishing factor. Like, the song was cool, but I wouldn't go back to listen to it again.
I like a varying rhythm in the song. I like when bands they're like, listen, our note is the open note, and that's all you're getting, and the rest of the song is built around
Just
like
let it
drums
ring
and
out,
rhythms.
man. Let it ring out.
What are you gonna do? It sounds like Acacia Strain. It's good.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna listen to another song.
You're gonna listen to it. So Motionless in White is going on a tour. They're bringing Knocked Loose. It's called the Black and Blue Tour. So I guess I don't know. Do you have thoughts on Motionless in White?
I don't know, like, they're very pretty.
Yeah, they are.
Their makeup looks better than ours,
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know. I like what the band's getting at, because I like industrial music and I like some of the reference points of what the band is, but like, I don't get the whole like presentation of that band, if that makes sense.
See, I mean, I like the presentation, but I feel like looking at the band, it seems like something I would like, but then musically, I
Yeah.
don't dislike it. It just something that doesn't stick with me. It has all the elements of the stuff I like, the gothic, industrial, even like the poppiness I could get behind, but I think maybe there's just not a correct balance of the things, and that's maybe what alienates me from them.
But kids love them, right? And Knocked Loose, I like Knocked
Yeah,
Loose.
I like them a lot.
That's like my
love
workout
Knocked-
music, you know?
Yeah.
So
This is
It's
just a
great.
weird mix.
Yeah.
though, honestly.
Right? Yeah, it is
It's
kind of a weird
mix.
tour.
No, I love
friends.
this. I love this mix because there are people that are into, like, kids are into Motionless in White, and then they're gonna watch Knocked Loose and go, oh shit. Like, that's their like
Brutality.
yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
oh my. That's when they find hardcore, and they're gonna get in a fight in a warehouse. It'll be great. Good
So
for them.
Madball is opening for them?
I hope. Oh my God, I love that gas station
Set
fight
it off,
music.
baby.
Set it off. I love it. Man, I hope Madball is on this tour. I want them to get that money.
Madball and Knocked Loose, I will say.
That
I
would
think
make
that would
sense
make
as a
sense.
tour.
That would
Totally
make
makes
sense.
sense.
Let's,
Yeah.
Why don't they just put Hatebreed on there too? Well, Hatebreed could headline. Like,
We're just
Motionless
booking
in
those.
back again, full circle. They're
We
all
just booked
working.
the tour that we talked about 2 weeks ago. But
You heard it here first.
I have no real opinion on Motionless in White.
Take it or leave it.
It's fine. It's not. I mean, they all look like Sharon Needles, but they can't do their makeup as well. So I don't
They
know.
do their makeup good.
Yo, their
well.
makeup
It's
looks good.
fine. It's
How does
fine.
your makeup look when you do it? Okay.
like bird, but it's supposed to.
I mean, actually, you do a good makeup. We've seen
Yeah.
it. Of course, Arsenio.
In his other life.
Plugs. Corey Taylor broke his foot.
Whoa.
Finished the show. Wow. What do you think? Everybody. I mean.
Oh my God.
I mean, a lot of. I don't
got
know.
the news alerts.
That's
Okay.
just- I don't even think that Corey Taylor thinks that this is newsworthy.
It's showmanship, right? Like first of all,
Professionalism.
yeah, you show up to the show. It happened right beforehand, which is embarrassing, right? But like, I don't know, I respect it, right? Because like
Yeah.
people
Oh, yeah.
pay
Yeah.
good money to go to those shows, especially in Europe.
Absolutely good for him. I'm just saying, like, every single person playing a show is sick. They got a bad lung at some, like, there's no one feels good when they're playing. If you're on tour, something like your eye.
Or you're fine, but you're driving a bus with 3 wheels. There's just always some type of
there's
something
always
that
some
plagues
kind
you,
of
yeah.
there's always some kind of mess. Corey, good job. You finished the show. One of the first finishing a show stories I remember is the Bury Your Dead singer getting the bass peg in the back of his head
Ooh.
during their DVD taping, and he finishes the entire set just covered in blood. Just looks like the DMX album cover. And then immediately when, Flesh of My Blood. And then like immediately when the last song is done, like the last like tom roll, like brrr, he falls onto a stretcher and is wheeled out.
I mean, that's what happens, man.
what happens.
That's what makes
Yeah.
people great performers.
Rock
Yeah.
and roll.
#1 fans, like.
There's
yeah.
people now, there's a million people who are now just like, Slipknot's my favorite band. That guy didn't have a foot.
Well, I gotta tell you, I'm not surprised by any of this because I saw them 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know. It was the Marilyn Manson Slipknot Amphitheater tour during the summer. And Corey Taylor had broken his neck or sprained his neck. He had some type of terrible neck injury that he performed pretty much the whole tour in a neck brace. And I
Occupational
saw
hazard,
that
yeah.
man perform in a neck brace and outperform everyone on that tour, including Marilyn Manson, who at that particular stop, it was the PNC stop, and Corey Taylor came out in a neck brace and just leveled New Jersey, which just showed you his level of dedication, his passion. He did.
He brought the heat to Jersey.
Brought the heat. And Marilyn Manson also. Now
Like
that I
food
think about
poisoning
it.
in a Wawa, leveling New Jersey. All right, well, a marketing company named TickPick has come out with a study saying that metal fans are more likely to have sex in cars than any other music fan. Do you agree?
Hell yeah.
I mean, only going from like my experience, I think from like high school to college.
Only in a car during
every
those
year-
years.
for
You got
most
nowhere
years,
else. Yeah, you got nowhere else to go. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the seat goes back, like whatever.
Front of the car or the back of the car?
Back of the
Back.
car. Back of the
Unless
car.
it's a bench seat.
What
Hand
kind
in
of
mouth.
car? It's a bench seat in the
I
back.
know a lot of guys with hot rods. I don't know.
I can't.
Do you not know my life?
Florida's calling.
Do you know how many car shows I've been to? It's kind of like the song goes with the Passenger, the Deftones and a song with Maynard. It's like, yeah, it's like, who cares who sees anything? I don't in that moment, and then afterwards filled
Get a little-
with, oh my God, shame and fright. I hope no cops saw that. But
Get a little kinky, you know?
Yeah. Well, I guess one thing I'm curious about with this test, is it just that metal fans in general have sex in more cars, or do they listen to metal while having sex in the car?
well, you gotta have the
Honestly.
right, you gotta have metal with groove, like
Yeah,
Terra,
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, but doesn't really work with like Deicide. I will say too, I want to know the age.
Glenn Benton marketing You know what though? I gotta sound so actually sorry. When I was working at Earache was my first job ever in the record industry.
Yeah.
And they put out Stench of Redemption, right? And he sent a this is like 2006. He had a press photo and he's like, we're gonna take a picture in my backyard. I get an email from Glenn Benton's wife at the time, and she sends me a picture of him in a swamp in Florida in his backyard, and he's like this. And
What is his hands doing?
I don't know. I was just like, he was literally in the swamp, and I'm like, yo.
I got 2 alligators down here.
You know when you laugh at something for just days straight. I kept like, I made it my background because he was like, and then you just see like the little shadow of that.
All right now, Katie's gonna respond to the comments. Something from Desert Lobster.
All right, no, so in the comments, last week we talked about The Sword, how I wasn't really into that band, never really connected with them. And then a commenter from Desert Lobster, great name by the way, where this person basically wasn't really into The Sword when they first heard them, and then the album Used Future came out, and he's like, you should give that a shot, like check it out, it's probably cool. You might like it, I really did. And I did check it out actually, and I have to say, it definitely provoked something in me that their albums didn't. I really grooved to it, and I definitely now kind of want to revisit their catalog, so thank you.
That's really cool. And yeah, if you guys have anything you want us to check out or listen to, let us know in the comments. We'll do it. New releases, Intronaut, Fluid, Existential Inversions. That sounds like one of the diseases that we discussed last week.
Geometry.
Yeah.
Geometry.
Yeah.
Love it. What do you think?
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's like it's soundtrack music to me. Like Intronaut always feels very soundtracky.
Yeah.
But it's like it's soundtracky that I like, right? Like because I can put it on, go through my day and listen through it, and I'm like, cool, this was great.
I love that soundtracky is like a diss a little bit.
I mean.
I
I like melody and vocals, and I feel like there's a lot of space. There's a lot
Yeah.
of like build up, which is why I love like bands like ISIS, Cult of Luna, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it's not bad. Like I like the tone of the music. It just doesn't do anything for me.
I appreciate how difficult it is to plan out songs like that and to
Sure.
really figure it out and to make it work like it actually feels like one fluid, consistent thing. I love this. I love this. Like this is the shit I want when I go to the planetarium. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is real planetarium hours. Give me a laser show, Sasha. Do it.
I like seeing them live.
Yeah.
They're
Great
great
live,
live,
too,
exactly.
yeah.
It's just maybe my tolerance for this kind of like album has dulled down a little bit because I used to love like really drawn out tracks. But I like seeing stuff like this live.
Yeah, for sure. You need it to like rumble you.
The
in,
experience.
like,
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
I really dig it because it's funny you mentioned Cult of Luna because I totally got a little bit of a Cult of Luna vibe, but also a little bit like proggier or a little more technical than Cult of Luna. I also really dig the band Chemist. They're
Yeah.
from Denver, and I felt I got some chemists going on there, and I've just always dug Intronaut. That's a band that I feel kind of what we were talking about before. Like Trivium has the stagnancy, right? And I think Intronaut's the kind of band that really has that sweet spot where they know how to evolve without necessarily betraying their sound. They still
Absolutely.
sound true to themselves. They still sound like Intronaut, but they have a very clear evolution with each album. And I dig it. I'm stoked on it. Like Zeena said, awesome live band. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see some of these songs live.
So sick. And speaking of Cults of Luna, Intronaut and Cults of Luna are on tour with Emma Ruth Rundle. Also, Sasha Dunnable makes Dunnable guitars used by all of the bands that we just talked about.
Yeah.
They're legitimately the best guitars in the game right now.
Plug.
Five Finger Death Punch put out a new album. It's called F8 or Fate, and that's appropriate because I effing hate this album. Jesus.
Oof, I don't know. I'm gonna be all right. Look, not necessarily something I would listen to independently all the time, but no, I can understand why people like it. And I try to understand. Ivan Moody,
Is he a wrestler?
hero. He reminds me of like a wrestler. There's something about him. He's
Yeah,
not a wrestler.
this
an anthem.
this is played at a wrestling show where you're like, oh, this is the wrong one. I need to leave.
But like some of the productions, all right. The production's actually really good on the album.
Oh, yeah,
I'm not gonna,
yeah. There you go.
I listened
They
to
have
it,
a lot of money.
and I feel like he's been through a lot because I know that he was in rehab, and that's tough. And when you think about it, Five Finger Death Punch is actually one of the biggest bands out there right now, right?
They're selling out arenas.
Yeah, exactly. So and they're touring worldwide. So dude had to have been through a lot to drop out and lose that money. So like, I don't know. I think it's really nice to hear these kind of bands like really put in an earnest kind of like offering, right? It feels like the lyrics, he's really trying to explain like what he's been going through. Love it.
I think it's great for Five Finger Death Punch fans that they have new music out.
There it is. That's great. I mean,
I will
look.
tell you this, and this is, I'd rather listen to that than Nickelback.
Oh, I don't know. Like
Katie, it's
Chad
20
Kroger's, he is a musical genius, okay?
Look, it's 2020. We gotta find like a new band to show over. Jesus Christ.
Let
That
Chad
poor
be.
band. Good for you, Nickelback. Do
I
what
know.
you can.
Who else is in the band?
Again,
Yeah.
also another
I don't
band
know.
that sells out arenas. People love it. And
Sure,
you know, that's the thing. I'm not necessarily saying that the public always has the right opinion. I mean, look, there's people like Justin Bieber also selling out arenas, so maybe the popular opinion isn't the right opinion. But in that sense, at the same time, it's just always good to see that there's, even if it's a band I don't like, even if it's not necessarily aligned with the genres that I prefer, it's still cool seeing metal bands out there selling out shows, selling records, and, you know, drawing fans out. So,
Agreed.
yeah.
I've seen them a bunch of times, actually.
Also, I think a former
great,
member
yeah.
also makes porn now. Relevant, just so you know.
I guess that's on brand for
There
us.
you go.
I'm
Wrestling
for
porn.
all your things, metalheads in porn.
Who
Yeah.
else, Katie?
See,
Who
he's
else?
just getting body slammed into it. Today's the day. No good to anyone. Where are you?
Okay, I have a lot of thoughts on this album.
Okay.
It definitely has a very broad amount of personalities. Every song sounds like it's from a completely different band. When I first put it on, heard the first song, it was super dark and annihilating and sludgy, and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to hear this album. And then the second song came on, I thought I hit something on Spotify and that I
Yeah.
was listening to a different band. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's cool being able to show range, diversity. I mean, by the 8th song, I'm like, am I listening to Pink Floyd? Like, what happened? Like, I mean, like, at first I felt like I was listening to Amun Ra. Now I feel like I'm listening, like, it definitely was all over the place, but I appreciate that they don't stay in a comfort zone, that they have the ability to play different types of music well. So some songs I loved, and some songs fell short, because again, they're all just so vastly different. But I think no matter what kind of a fan you are, there's something for you on there, which is pretty cool.
I've said many times I enjoy like a range of stuff. I love being drawn into something else. I like to go on a journey. I like a musical itinerary. You know what I mean? And this gave it to me. It's cool. It's not. I have not been following like Today's Today or Steve Austin for like that long.
Wait, Steve Austin, the wrestler, is in that band?
No,
yeah.
it's the same name.
Yeah, this is.
I was thinking Stone Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the guy's name is Steve Austin, but I don't know. He's more of a smash 2 teacups together and and pour it all over him. What is it?
316, all right?
Yeah, lukewarm Steve Austin. The Night Flight Orchestra, Aromatic.
So cool. I love this too. I don't know anything about it until like I listened to the album. The imaging is really cool. The marketing, I like the whole package, because it's not, you don't really get that very, very often anymore. Like where you have a whole like brand for a release. Yeah.
This is, looking at it, you're like, okay, this is gonna be something. Like they all look like flight attendants on a rocket that's going straight into the sun.
And sonically it rips. Like, you know, I was talking about melody before. It's like it was like throwback like metal tunes from the 80s, but it was like they all had cool melodies. Like I was into it for sure.
It had a big like disco influence. Like it was basically like when Kiss did disco, but also better. Like it was just very like 70s disco rock. I love this band. I've been following them for a few years now. In fact, in case you didn't know, Bjorn, the singer of Soilwork, and I believe there might be another member of Soilwork, are in this band.
Yeah, super interesting.
Bjorn is the main dude, and I mean, I actually like this more than Soilwork.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
like it more
even
now
heard
knowing.
of Soilwork.
What?
Oh,
you do.
I've seen a
drummer.
T-shirt.
Megadeth's drummer,
Definitely.
Dirk Verburen, is from Soilwork.
If
That's where he
it's
came
not
from.
Nick Menza, I don't know who's played drums.
Ozfest 2005.
Yeah, no, I dig this album a lot.
Woof. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was definitely cool. It's good like morning music. I feel like, you know, start your day right.
Or like I'm about to go out, like in the car, like
Yeah.
getting pumped. Like I'm into it. There is not a bad song on this album. It's another one, we talked a lot today about consistency, super cohesive, super consistent. And it's just a feel-good record, and I feel like we need feel-good music. So
I appreciate a good rock song.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, that's the end of the episode. Katie, where can we find you?
At Merciful Kate on Instagram and Twitter. And right now you can find me, I contribute occasionally to Loudwire, and I also work at Season of Mist. Pretty cool record label. Check out the new Tombs album.
Hell yeah. Zeena, say goodbye.
You can find me on the internet. At Zeena Koda on all social platforms. Check out my podcast at LadyIsh if you want to hear a bunch of broads talking about broad stuff. It's applicable to men too, okay?
Okay, I'll listen to it. Don't yell at me.
But I just want to tell everyone, it's our big sending off. Zeena is leaving us.
Aww.
She's got a real cool new job. She's moving. And just want to thank you for being here. And I'm glad that we got to have time with you.
Find me in Denver.
Yeah.
And you can find me at Dr. Mayer on Instagram, at Mr. Jordan Olds on Twitter. Please follow 2 Minutes to Late Night at 2 Minutes to Late Night on Instagram, at 2M2LN on Twitter. Please follow all of the Pit social media at We Are The Pit. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you wanted to talk about anything that we didn't, let us know in the comments.